Your punches suck, but don't worry, because in this video we're going to show you a better alternative. A lot of people think that slapping isn't as effective as punching.
Slap.
But the reality is often the opposite is true. If you're not confident in your punching ability, or you're worried that punching someone might hurt your hand more than it hurts the attacker's face, then we're going to show you multiple different ways to turn a simple slap, just like the slap your mama used to give you, into different strikes that are more effective than a punch for self-defense. We're going to look at slapping for power, slapping for pain, and slapping as a distraction. By the way, we're currently developing a personal safety framework course. If you stay to the end of the video, we'll talk more about it. If you don't want to wait that long, you can join the wait list by clicking the link in the description. So firstly, we're going to look at slapping for power. We're going to show you that if you are going to slap someone, how to do it in the most powerful way possible. So let's look at targets. Where you choose to slap someone is going to have an amplifying impact on the power of your slap because of the vulnerable areas on the face. So I might choose to target the orbital here, I might choose to target the temple, I might choose to target the ear, where the equilibrium and the balance is, I might choose to target the edge of the nose, or the edge of the chin here, or even behind the neck. Now let's look at what you slap them with. So when we're slapping them with our hand, we're not slapping them with the fingers, we're slapping them with what we call the palm heel, here, this part of the hand. Now when we're slapping, imagine we're swinging a baseball bat, like we're throwing our entire body into the strike, and the more of a swing, the more of a rotation we can get, the more powerful it is. So the pad comes up, and apparently if you shout or make really silly noises, it makes it even harder. You could do it with both hands, you could do it off the lead hand here, or you could double up. You could use it as a setup for your next strike. So it could be here, slap, punch. So we've looked at slapping for power, now we're going to look at slapping for pain.
Now I'm going to slap Ryan with a surprise. So basically, this time I'm not just eager for knock him out. That's not the priority. The priority is slap and do something else. For instance, a slap, ear. Yeah. A slap, hair. A slap, nose. Slap, hoodie, punch. Or even a nasty one. You can slap even the back neck. You can even clack. That's very nasty. That's a very clack, even with the forehand. Clack, and then from here. Okay. So basically, is a slap with coaching the eyes, grabbing the ear, grabbing the hair, the nose, a slap, plus a follow-up coaching. Also, one of the, if not the worst knocked out I ever had in boxing, a guy throw the jab, punch, move my head, and then boom, broke my nose. Brutal, okay? So this movement, clank, clank, moving your head out of the way, wobbling your head, moving your head, pam, and then boom, setting something up. So you can pam, and controlling, and then clack, clack. And Ryan is already complaining, so let alone if this is in a real scenario.
That was perfect. So that last one Raul just did to me, entirely by accident, brings me on to the next thing we're going to look at, which is slapping for distraction. And a bit of pain as well. If somebody's grabbing you and you need to distract them just for a second to do something else, you target the ear. So the equilibrium is in the ear, right? So if you can cup your hand and you can hit that ear, covering it, it's like you trap the air in the ear, and you get, if you hit it right, you get this horrible like bubble popping sensation. It's really painful. And it's really distracting as well if you need a second to just get away or do something else. So you're going to cup your hand and you're going to strike there, cupping the ear, trapping the air inside. So another way to use slapping as a distraction is by shaking the brain. When an attacker is approaching you, they have a plan in their head of exactly what they want to do. Even in the middle of a fight. If we're in a fight here, Raul has a plan of what strikes he's going to throw, how he's going to move his head. If we're in a grappling situation here, Raul has a plan of what he's going to do, right? It's very, very hard for Raul to think about his next move if I shake his brain. One of the things that I learned from training with Tommy Joe Moore is that if you can somehow isolate your attacker's strongest hand and then just shake the brain with slaps as much as you can, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to counter you, and that's going to give you some time to follow up and get away. So everything that we've looked at today doesn't require a great deal of training. Your mother, as far as you know, probably didn't train martial arts, but she still had a really good slap. So all we're doing is we're adding some IQ, we're adding a bit of intelligence on top of basic, instinctive, natural strikes. If you've made it this far in the video, then you're obviously really passionate about self-defense and personal safety. We're making a personal safety framework course that's all about the cognitive side of self-defense, all the smart things that help you stay out of trouble and avoid 99% of conflict in the first place. It's non-physical, so you don't need a training partner or any physical abilities to be able to practice what you learn in the course. And it's full of practical personal safety skills based on our years of experience that you can begin to apply to your lives straight away to help you and your family feel safer. If you're interested in the course, click on the link in the description to join the waitlist.